DJ Khaled makes music that appeals to no one else but the lowest common denominator. The first time I heard his music, a few years back, I thought it was just fucking garbage, and ever since, I've heard his music so many times on the radio or in the stores and so on and so forth, and I have never ever heard a good DJ Khaled song. I know some of my friends who love his shit and play his shit all the time, and I've heard it at parties and such, and I've never ever liked it. And every time I hear a DJ Khaled song, I just want to go to the other room, and if I can't escape the song because I'm with someone or at a store or whatever, I just want to fucking gouge my I just want to fucking stab my ears with toothpicks, alright? I just hate his music that fucking much. And turns out even DJ Khaled himself is a shitty person, because as of late, ever since DJ Khaled released his Father of Assad album last month, DJ Khaled has thrown a huge fucking temper tantrum because, oh no, his album didn't reach #1. And here's DJ Khaled himself on video complaining about this. Take a look.
I gotta say this too. I make albums so people can play it and you actually hear it. You know, driving your car, you hear another car playing it. You know, go to the barbershop, you hear them playing it. You know, turn the radio on and you hear them playing it. You know, it's playing everywhere. It's called great music. It's called albums that you actually hear the songs. Not no mysterious shit and you never hear it. On your dome.
So, according to DJ Khaled's logic, if your song is played in places like a barber shop or a store or any other public area of the sort, that means your song is automatically good and you cannot dispute that. Yeah, no, that would make shit like Imagine Dragons or Maroon 5 or Taylor Swift or DJ Khaled songs good, which they are not. They're all horrible. But anyways, yeah, DJ Khaled is obviously very angry that his album didn't hit #1. And for those of you who don't know, this is a little jab, an indirect jab towards Tyler, the Creator. They released their albums, both of their albums on the same day, and Tyler's album beat out DJ Khaled's album. Tyler's album hit #1, and DJ Khaled's album hit #2. And this really angered DJ Khaled. And before I get into more of this, I just want to say my thoughts on Tyler, the Creator's album. I have this friend who really loved it, and he said, "Oh, you'd probably really like this too." He recommended it to me, and I listened to Tyler's album, Igor. I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. I actually really enjoyed the album. It may not be your cup of tea. I know most of the people who watch me who really like music are more into rock and metal, but I personally really enjoyed it. It's a rap album, but it's also, you know, a fusion with... It's also a fusion of soul and R&B, and it's really nice. Definitely give it a shot. Again, you may not really enjoy it, but it's definitely better than a lot of the other shit that's popular now. But anyways, moving on from that... on top of all this, on top of DJ Khaled throwing a huge bitch fit over the fact that his album didn't reach #1 for once, he is suing Billboard for not putting his album on the #1 spot. Take a look at this. Chart watchers noticed in late May when music business Bible Billboard took 4 extra days to make their album chart, the Billboard 200, official for the week. The smart money was that Billboard was refereeing a fight between the two acts battling for that week's #1, each from a different corner of hip-hop. Quirky, former Odd Future member Tyler, the Creator, and relentlessly self-promotional MC DJ Khaled, especially after Khaled performed on the season finale of Saturday Night Live. Accompanied by a skybox's worth of rap luminaries, he wasn't going down without a fight. That fight may be far from over. 2 weeks after Billboard gave the week's title to Tyler's Igor over Khaled's Father of Assad, Khaled is rumored to be planning a lawsuit against the magazine on the premise that he was robbed of a #1 album. The charge? Billboard reportedly disallowed from the chart some 100,000 merchandise or merch bundles Khaled sold the week his album dropped, connecting Father of Assad download to the purchase of a Khaled-branded energy drink. So basically, Khaled bundled his album up with some merch, and when fans bought this merch, they also got the album with the merch. So basically, Khaled tried to cheat his way up to number one, and now he's mad that his little cheat didn't work. Boo-hoo! You didn't get the number one spot. Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. Come on. Your music is already played everywhere. I hear your music all the fucking time, and you can't even fucking make an album without a bunch of features and nearly every track, every single track in DJ Khaled's latest album has at least a few people featured in it. He can't do an album by himself because obviously he's not entertaining enough or talented enough to carry a song by himself, so he needs a bunch of other rappers featured with him to make a song that's at least halfway decent or good enough to be a single that is played everywhere. You've already had a lot of success, DJ Khaled. Is it really so terrible that an album of yours didn't reach number one for once? I mean, what the fuck is wrong with number two? I'm sure many artists would kill for their album to hit number two for at least 1 week. And your ass is sitting there, crying over the fact that your album didn't reach number one. Oh, boo-hoo, multi-millionaire, celebrity problems. Give me a fucking break. And I'm really happy that Billboard denied you the number one spot because you tried to cheat your way to the top by bundling your album up with t-shirts and energy drinks and such. You know, I guess you didn't have much faith in your album to sell on its own, so you had to force it on people who were buying certain shirts and certain energy drinks, you know, and Billboard obviously caught on with what you were doing, and they didn't like that, and they didn't grant you the number one spot, and they granted it to a much more deserving album, in my opinion, and that is just absolutely fucking amazing to me. And yes, I know DJ Khaled's album did end up beating out Tyler's album, but it still didn't reach number one. In fact, it's falling currently. Currently, Billie Eilish's When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, and Center Point Road by Thomas Rhett is beating it out. Now, I don't know about Thomas Rhett's album. I never even fucking heard of Thomas Rhett, and obviously never heard his new album, but I could say a few things about the Billie Eilish record for a little bit here. I listened to her album recently because I know another person who is absolutely obsessed with Billie Eilish's stuff and was urging me and other friends to listen to her album, and I listened to it, and well, it's nothing I went crazy over, but it was decent. It wasn't terrible per se. It wasn't the worst thing I listened to, of course, but it still wasn't terrible. I actually kind of enjoyed it. You know, it was out there, but it was unique. You can tell Billie Eilish does have some talent. All right, it may not be any of your person watching this cup of tea, but still, if you want to try it out. It's nothing terrible, and it's, again, a lot better than a lot of the other shit that's popular now, and DJ Khaled is among those things. But anyways, DJ Khaled, if you're so mad that these albums beat your album, how about you actually step up your game and make good music? Maybe people are sick and tired of hearing the same generic, stupid, fucking rap bullshit that you've been making for these past few years, however fucking long you've been making music. And, you know, it's getting stale on people. You're featuring people like Cardi B and such in your songs, and, again, doing the same stupid, generic rap bullshit that I'm sure people are getting sick of by now, and that is why people with actual talent and, you know, making albums that are actually creative and not just the same generic shit you've been hearing on the radio for so fucking long. You know, people are actually listening to shit like that because people would rather listen to shit like that. People would rather listen to shit that is actually good, actually creative, and actually took actual effort to make. All right, you just sit on your ass. You say shit like another one in your tracks and shit like that, and then you let the people you feature in your songs carry the song because obviously you're not talented enough to carry a song all on your own. You gotta feature people in every single song on your fucking album. So DJ Khaled, if you really want your albums to reach number one, how about you actually step up your game and make some actual good music that people would actually want to listen to? I know this may be a hard task for you to perform, but at least try. If you try to make better music that people would want to actually listen to, then maybe, just maybe, your album would reach number one. Alright, you don't have to do some shady shit and package your albums albums with t-shirts and energy drinks and anything of the sort, you know, to try to cheat your way to that number one spot. And instead of, so how about you do that instead of crying over the fact that Billboard didn't want to grant your album the number one spot because you tried to cheat your way to the top. Oh, I gotta sue Billboard because they didn't want to give me the number one spot. Oh, boo-hoo, what the fuck will I ever do? You'll be fine. Your album didn't reach number one. Get the fuck over it already. I mean, Jesus, dude, how much success is enough for you? You've had many albums in the past reach number one. You've had many, many hit singles where you feature other artists. Because again, you're not talented enough to carry a tune on your own. But anyways, whatever, that aside. You've made millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars off your untalented garbage music, okay? You're set for life, dude. There is no reason to complain of your album not reaching number one, alright? Number two is perfectly fine. Your album is still popular. You yourself are still popular with all the brain-dead teenagers who listen to your garbage, okay? You are just fine. Thank you for not only showing me that you're an untalented hack who makes horrible, horrible fucking music. Trust me, I already knew that, but on top of that, you're also a huge, gigantic douchebag. I mean, holy shit. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.